And welcome back to our parenting conference. Yes, it is back to back with great facilitators bringing a wealth of knowledge. And before we continue though, I want to take one moment and acknowledge Aesthetics by Aster. Aesthetics by Aster Skincare and Nutritional Salon is one of our sponsors for this evening's event, and they are located in Balmoral Park in Edinburgh. They provide facials, massage, skin cleansing, and a whole range of services including manicures, pedicures, facials, waxing, and so much more. So if you are in the central area, be sure to visit Aesthetics by Aster Skincare and Nutritional Salon. Their contact number is 743-1036 or 665-7495. So thank you, Aster, for being partnering with us in this project. Coming up next to share some bits with you guys in this parenting conference we have going on here live at LaunchPad Consultancy is Krish Tiwari. She is a registered dietitian, owner of Proactive Health Solutions located in Tri-City Central, 5 Rivers Road. She is a diabetes educator coming with a degree in dietetics and nutrition, a master's in health and promotion, and so much more. We have a gem here with us who's going to be sharing with you parents about nutrition and education. So many of you parents ask, how can I do more? How can I do different? How can I feed my children well when I'm so busy? So here this evening is none other than Ms. Tiwari, and she's going to be sharing with you great points about nutrition and supporting your children's mental and brain development. So let's put our hands together for her.
Hi, good afternoon everybody. So that was a really nice introduction. I'd like to thank all the people who came before me as well. They shared a lot of information. So the impact of nutrition on learning. We are looking at ways nutrition influences a student's learning. And what we know is that improved nutrition equals improved brain function. We are also looking at deficiencies of vitamins as it shows to inhibit cognitive abilities and mental concentration. We're looking at amino acids and carbohydrates supplementation that can improve perception, intuition, and reasoning. So when we look at nutrition, we have two words here that we're looking at that is important. Nutrition and learning. And nutrition is the process of providing or obtaining food necessary for health and growth. So food or nutrition or nourishment, those are similar words that we look at. Learning is the acquisition of knowledge or skills through study, experience, or being taught. Now, we're talking about kids here, we're talking about nutrition. What is important? Is it important to just send your child to school and expect school feeding to really feed them? Or is it our responsibility as parents to see what our children are eating? Why do we want them to eat well? We want them to have cognitive ability, to reason, to think out of the box. And a lot of times we hear nutrition and we hear food and stuff. But it's not only about the brain, you know. It is about physical activity. It is about movements. So data suggests that better nutrition in students allow children to behave better. It improves behavior and it causes fewer disruption in the classroom. Now, I was supposed to do a PowerPoint presentation, so I have some graphics here to show children fighting. And we all know what is happening in the schools with students and teachers, students and principals now. And it's really difficult to understand why these children are behaving like that, right? And why do we care? We care because we don't want our children to go to jail. We don't want them to embarrass us, you know, because everybody now is saying it comes from the home. And does it really come from the home, or are there other factors? like television, like games, like peer pressure, like other influences in the school. We have to look at all those things because as parents, we can't control. There are some things that are beyond our control. Now, from what I understand, there are certain nutrients, when given to students, when given to human beings, they react differently and they behave differently. And if the camera guy could look at this with children behaving badly and fighting, I was taught when I studied that my professor told me, he said, you know what, you see all those guys in YTC? You just give them some omega-3 and DHA and you will see how they will behave. I tried it, I have 3 sons, and I give them DHA and I see a big difference. Because when those hormones take them, it is really, really difficult. You know? So studies also show nutrition status can directly affect mental capacity among school-aged children. And when we're talking about deficiencies of certain nutrients. So we know about all the processed foods, all the foods that are half-baked and ready in the supermarket, convenience food. Are there how many mothers could stay home and say, I will make 3 meals and 2 snacks for my children every day? We have to work. We have to take care of the children. We have a lot of responsibilities. And it is too much. So we have to buy those foods. But when you buy those foods and they are partly processed or processed, there's nothing much in it. And that is why a lot of times children behave like that. So a lot of, like iron deficiency, for example, right? Even at early stages can reduce dopamine, the effect of dopamine in the brain. So you're buying things and you're giving your children, you don't know what is in there and what's not in there, right? It affects physical activity and cognitive function, including movement and memory. Who would have thought iron would affect those things, deficiency of dopamine, and is responsible for, and of course dopamine is responsible for the reward feeling, the good feeling. Why do we have depression now in children? So many suicides, so many kids taking drugs, smoking weed. Why? Because they want to feel good, they're missing something, and it could be in the food. So another deficiency, deficiency in other vitamins and minerals, specifically thiamine, vitamin E, vitamin B, iodine, and zinc. Where do we look at those things? Do we think? Sometimes the soil itself that the farmer is replanting, the chemicals being used in the process. Even sometimes I have seen research where lead is found in foods being sold close to roads because it comes from the gas, it comes from the carbon monoxide. So we have to be careful and we have to be cognitive of what we're giving our children. I am not saying that we could sit down and cook 3 meals, but we have to really be aware. And this is just an awareness of what happens. So we need to get, for the iron deficiency, you can get dopamine from exercise, you can get it from meditation, from a massage, sleep, or music. Now children on their iPhone and their laptop and all the gadgets all the time. So sometimes you think they're sleeping and they're not. But we can get dopamine, tyrosine, which really reacts with iron to help iron works. So tyrosine is found in almonds, bananas, avocados, eggs, beans, and chicken, etc. So we're looking at deficiency of other vitamins and minerals, and they're thiamine, vitamin E, vitamin B, iodine, and zinc. And it inhibits cognitive ability and mental concentration when you don't have enough in the diet. Now, thiamine, but before I go on to thiamine, do we know what are vitamins and minerals? We hear these things, take your vitamin, you know, but what is it really? Vitamins are called cofactors, and they help the other nutrients to work. So it is defined as a group of organic compounds essential for growth and nutrition and are required in small amounts in the diet because they cannot be synthesized by the body. Now there are certain vitamins that can be synthesized by dogs, like vitamin C. We can't make that. So we have vitamin A, D, E, and K, which are your fat-soluble vitamins. Your vitamin B, your B's, and your C, they are water-soluble vitamin. That means that your vitamin B and C, if you take too much, you urinate it out every day. But some people go on a diet and they say, well, I'm not giving my child fat, or I'm not eating fat and I'm cutting out this. You need it to help absorption. So you must have fat in your diet. A lot of times people cut out this and they cut out that. You're cutting out rice, but you get your vitamin B's from your rice and your cereal products. I'm not talking about the cereal that you go and you buy. I'm talking about like corns and oats and stuff like that. So vitamins and minerals boost the immune system, support normal growth and development, and help cells and organs to do their jobs. Example, like in carrots, you have carotenoids, but it is not absorbed as carotenoids, right? It helps in the formation of vitamin A, which is for eye health, right? So we'll go on to the thiamine, the vitamins themselves that are really needed and important, and they're easily lost. So thiamine is important for inflammation of the nerves, so it reduces inflammation of the nerves and heart. So if you don't have enough thiamine, you can have heart failure, you can have damage of the nerves, right? It helps to break down carbohydrates in foods into products needed by the body. So you get your thiamine in your milk, nuts, oats, oranges, pork and eggs, right? Okay, students? I know it's a lot to take in, but I don't want to go on too long as well. But it's a learning experience. So vitamin E, antioxidants. Antioxidants are compounds that protect the body from free radicals, the byproduct of metabolism that can damage cells and cause diseases like heart disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's. Now there are certain things like something like too much oxygen. So vitamin E, when they talk about free radicals and damage from metabolism, it is really the toxic part of metabolism. And metabolism is the process where it's like a factory making the energy, so that you could run, you could walk, your hair could grow and things like that. But if you have excess in certain things, it could be toxic as well. So you get your vitamin E from wheat germ. Now some people say, don't eat wheat, you will get wheat belly, your belly will swell and all that. If you are allergic to those things, then you will have a reaction. If you're not allergic to it, you eat it because it's good for you. So wheat germ, sunflower, seeds, like other types of seeds that we talk about, like flax seeds and so, you get vitamin E from that. You get it from nuts and from leafy green vegetables. Now a lot of children don't like leafy green vegetables. It tastes in yuck and it tastes in yuck. It doesn't taste yuck. You need to introduce it to them at an early age, where they will acquire the taste, than giving them cornflakes and milk. We know the standard American diet acronym is SAD, S-A-D. So it's the standard American diet. We don't need the standard American diet here. They're now appreciating what we have, and they're really clinging on to it. They want to tell us now about Caribbean foods. So your vitamin B, and we're talking about B12 here. You get it in liver, mutton, chicken, fish, cheese, yogurt, nutritional yeast, and shiitake mushrooms. Now vitamin B12, normally you will get it from meat and meat products. But if you're a vegetarian, you get it from the mushrooms. If you're a lacto-vegetarian, you will get it from your cheese and milk. If you're lacto-ovo, you'll get it from your eggs and your cheese and milk. So you know there are different types of vegetarian. Now we have to cater for the vegans and all those things. But vitamin B is important for bone metabolism. The body's nerves and cells needs to be healthy, and it helps in forming DNA. Now they're legalizing marijuana. They want to legalize marijuana in Trinidad and Tobago. That the chemicals from the marijuana would affect the DNA, especially children who have access to, so anybody under 25 or so, and they're taking this marijuana, it will affect them. It will affect the DNA. So could you imagine in the next generation what's going to happen? Now medical marijuana is another story, but recreational marijuana is important that, you know, it needs to be talked about, you know, and really rationalized. And the vitamin B as well reduces megaloblastic anemia, and megaloblastic anemia is damage of the red blood cells and where it starts to be destroyed. So if you have a deficiency of that, you know, you might find the person anemic, and then it's another long story of having blood tests and to see what is the problem. And then we talk about iodine. Iodine is important for thyroid hormone for proper bone and brain development. So when people say the thyroid swell, or I have a thyroid problem and the doctor gave me some medication, is it really a plaster for the sore? Is it being controlled? How is it being dealt with? Because you need it for bone and brain development during pregnancy and infancy, particularly. So you get it in sea moss. You talk about seaweed, salts, iodized salts and stuff, right? You get it in codfish, eggs, you get it in prunes if you're vegetarian, and of course the salt. So it's really needed for hormone control. Now hormone control, I mean, you know, when kids reach the teenage years and those hormones go crazy, what happens? You know, so there needs to be a balance. And we're talking now about zinc, and zinc is an antioxidant. Now zinc is really important for healing. If you look at vitamins for older people, you will see this zinc, and it's really for healing. And it has a lot, it is important for eye health, for heart health, and for muscle repair. You get your zinc in whole grain foods. We're talking about whole grain foods now. We're talking about milk, oysters, red meats. Now I'm not saying go and eat a whole duck and stuff for red meats, because you know we need to reduce that. It has a lot of cholesterol in it. Poultry, baked beans, you can have it in chickpeas, nuts like cashew and almonds. So zinc is also for building new muscles. If someone is disabled, like the elderly, and they're not doing a lot of movements, you will see they become thin, and the body, you will see the muscles being wasted because it's not being used. And probably too the nutrition. Sometimes there's a drug-nutrient interaction, and the nutrition is not there, so they might not feel to eat. You know, if someone has some cerebral palsy or sometimes you see that in those kids, you know, muscle wasting, and how they need to exercise as well, even though they're disabled. Zinc is also important for reproductive health, especially for men. Now we know that's another story, but we know all these gadgets and all these electronic stuff that is being used, and the Wi-Fi, and we see all the research. Guys take laptop and they rest it on their laps, and it is causing a problem. It is causing a problem. Men don't talk much, they don't go to the doctor much until it is really necessary, and when they reach there, of course we know prostate in Trinidad and Tobago is a big thing, right? So guys, eat your tomato chuka. It's important. Right, so amino acids and carbohydrates. Now these are not the vitamins and minerals, these are macronutrients, right? But it is also needed for brain development. It improves perception, intuition, and reasoning. So you get your amino acids, they're really the building blocks for protein. And you get your amino acids from beef, pork, chicken, eggs. You get it from tofu, tempeh, lentils, chickpeas, peanuts, and quinoa. Right? Your carbohydrates, your starchy foods. So in a minute, the cameraman will focus on our Caribbean 6 food groups, which is on the left of me. And we will see that all these foods, we have them in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't have to go to some fancy place and have clotted cream and chia seeds and all those things. We have all the foods in Trinidad and Tobago that we need to eat from. So the amino acids, they're important for perception, intuition, and reasoning. Right? The carbohydrates are broken down for energy, is used as glucose for brain use. Sometimes you work in the office and you're not doing anything, you're sitting down by a desk, and by the end of the day you're tired. Why? Because your brain using the energy and it uses glucose. So this is why you need your carbohydrates for brain function. Now please note that you don't get carbohydrates from oil and meats. That's for the diabetics who are here, just to note. Now, there are a number of studies that show that improved nutrient intake can influence the cognitive ability and intelligence level of school-age children. Now, there are superfoods, and the superfoods, I will name them, blueberry, and it reduces oxidative stress. Now, those are your blue and colored vitamin, fruits and vegetables that we're seeing here. So we can really relate blueberry to those, right? It is important for neurodegenerative diseases. We have walnuts. So these are the superfoods for kids. Walnuts, and you see how walnuts resemble the brain? And it's important. Fish, your omega-3, salmon, tuna, mackerel, your avocados, they improve memory, and the potassium. Now I'm not saying go and eat a whole avocado because it has saturated fats, but it has vitamins, it has iron. Broccoli, vitamin A, E, C, K, and vitamin B, and it helps strengthen cognitive ability. Broccoli. Now we grow in broccoli in Trinidad and Tobago. Egg yolks, choline. We have choline in egg yolks, and it's important for the brain. And beets, there's something called nitrites in beets that makes it red, and it helps with blood flow. So if kids play in a sport, it is important. Bodybuilders using it now, but it's important to have beets. Now the Caribbean 6 food groups, can I go and stand it? So we have the Caribbean 6 food groups. We have the staples where you get your starches. Most of your energy comes from here, your legumes, your protein and your fibers, your nuts, you get fats and minerals, your food from animals. Now when you're buying your food from animals, we want lean cuts of meat, no hot dogs and stuff for kids, all those chemicals that makes the foods look red. They are nitrates and nitrites, and they are carcinogenic, they cause cancer. When you're eating your tuna and your sardines, you want to have it with water, not oil, cut down on the extra fat. Your fruits and your vegetables, eat as much as you could raw. You get your vitamins and your minerals, your nice hair and skin from those. And of course your fats, you see avocado and coconut oil. So we're not bathing, eating and drinking coconut oil. There is a lot of saturated fats, and it will cause cholesterol buildup. So some people say it is helping them to lose weight. You might be thin on the outside but fat on the inside. Very important, but you must have fat in the diet. So over here, I'm just going to show you what a plate should look like. And it's a balanced meal. It is your carbs, your vegetables, your protein. And it is made so that the child will enjoy it. You can have chocolate milk, and you can have yogurt. In the morning and the afternoon, you must have your fruits. Now, do I still have time?
Yes.
So I would like someone to come up, if they can, and show me how much teaspoons of sugar is in this. If someone is brave enough, can you come? I will help you. So each teaspoon of sugar is 4 grams. And in this product here, we have 26 grams of sugar. So I brought the calculator. divide by 4 so that everybody could see. So it's 6.5 teaspoons of sugar in this. And you can put it out and show the rest of us. Level. So it's right. That's 3. So we say 3.5 for the little one. Here was 4, 5. So let's say in addition, thank you very much. So you give your child one of this for the day, and you give them a juice, and you make the tea in the morning, and they drink they drink some other drinks. I don't want to call names, but they drink some drinks in the afternoon, plus the foods that they eat. It will be this in addition to what they eat. Right, so this is the amount, this is 16 grams of sugar, and this is the amount of sugar, added sugar to the diet. So I'm not talking about sugar from a carrot. I'm not talking about sugar from a piece of pumpkin. You know, all foods will have the natural sugars and salts and so. But this is if you're making the tea or if you're giving them, and this is not sugar from milk, right? Those are natural sugars. So if you're giving them a juice or if you're making juice, and we know how we like to put more sugar than juice. And we say it tastes nice, but it's like a syrup. And they say, and they boil it and they say fresh juices. When they boil it down the juice, you know, the fresh juices. So it's important to see how much sugar added to the diet. And this would be like, so it will include like, if you're giving them a cup of tea, if you make juice in the breads, you know, you buy bread and it's sweet, right? You're stewing, you add sugar to it. This is how much of the added sugar in the diet. And these are like portion sizes. If you're having something, it has to be a handful of raisins because it's sweet, or a handful of nuts. Of course, the child would have less. So I would like to thank you all for listening. I saw a lot of heads shaking, and I'm hoping that you all enjoy this. Thank you very much.
Yes, and of course we want to thank Dr. Tiwari for being with us here at the Parenting Conference. And before we close off this segment, just of course giving a tribute as well to Jason Samaru Photography, another one of our partners for the Parenting Conference. And of course, Jason has been our resident photographer for quite some time now, does an amazing job, affordable prices. So for all of your holiday gatherings, your photo shoots, your whatever, call early, book quick. I'm seeing him shaking his head, saying, no, Miss Lewis, I'm booked up. Give him a call. The number is 297-2850. That is Jason Samaru Photography, and you can look him up on social media. You'll see awesome works, candid shots, and so much more from Jason Samaru Photography. So of course, once again, thank you to Dr. Tiwari, and don't get weary just yet. We have one more presentation coming where we're going to be chatting with you parents. I'm not going to tell you the topic yet. Stay tuned. You'll find out. We'll see you in a couple minutes.